this episode, we have Malcolm Kelner, an actor and comedian, or comedian and actor from Los Angeles, and he's starred in multiple TV shows such as Welcome to Chippendales from Hulu and much more. So sit back, get productive, and enjoy the comedic relief.
Hey there, Malcolm.
Hey.
So before we start, can you introduce yourself to the audience for people who don't know you yet?
Yeah, so my name's Malcolm Kelner. I'm a comedian and actor who lives in Los Angeles, and I am here in the scene doing things, just trying to make my way here in Hollywood.
Yeah, I think also you were in the Welcome to Chippendales. I don't know how to say that.
Yes.
On Hulu, was it?
Yes, I was in that show, Welcome to Chippendales on Hulu, starring Kumail Nanjiani and a lot of other famous, well-known actors. And it was a great miniseries on Hulu, inspired by the real, true story of what happened with this Chippendales club in LA here back in the 80s. So.
Oh, it's a real story. Is it?
Oh yeah, it's a real story. They really were very accurate to the events that happened. Basically, it was an immigrant from India who he worked at a gas station, and he saved up enough money to buy a club. He wanted to start his own business. This is the character that Kumail plays in the movie. His name was Soman Banerjee in real life. And so this Banerjee guy, he buys a club. He has the idea to turn it into a male strip club, which was groundbreaking in the 80s. And it became this huge cultural phenomenon. And then, he got very rich and famous. But then he got in a big dispute with the choreographer of the strippers and the dancers, and everything kind of fell apart. And I won't spoil what happens for you or your fans who want to watch the show.
Right.
But things get pretty wild, and it's all true. It all happened in real life. So.
Okay, that's one thing I didn't do my research on.
No worries.
It was a real story. That's
real story.
Yep. You want to watch it all the more, actually. You know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you so much for giving me the information on that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like watching it more now.
Yeah.
But the main question is, looking at you as a comedian, why did you choose comedy in the first place? What made it different from the rest of all the careers in the world?
Yeah, so I actually, I didn't always know that I wanted to do this. I went to college for something else. I went to college for journalism because I originally thought that I wanted to be a sports journalist or a sports broadcaster. And but then as I was in college doing that, I wasn't really getting a lot of fulfillment out of that because I felt that I was kind of reporting on other people. I was just a middleman. I was watching sports games and then relaying the information to other people. I was just kind of the middleman. I wasn't really creating anything myself, and I wasn't being creative myself. So then I started to get back into the comedy world, comedy writing, doing some acting stuff that I had done some of growing up but kind of got away with. So got back into those things and back into the entertainment world. And that's when I realized, like, this is what I want to do. I think this is what I'm meant to do. I truly believe my purpose here in life is to entertain people and make people laugh. And that's what I get the most joy out of doing. So that's when I decided that I wanted to pursue it as a career, kind of later on in college.
That's that's quite the story actually you have over there. That's pretty inspiring actually. But when you were actually starting off in maybe in your college days actually,
mm-hmm.
did you find out what exactly does it take to become a stand-up comedian other than to be funny and stuff? Are there any things that usually don't tell the public, but it's in every comedian that you see in this world?
Yeah. Well, the thing about stand-up is that it's something that it can't really be taught. The best way of learning stand-up is just kind of by doing it and by failing and being bad at it over and over until you slowly get better and slowly figure yourself out, and they say there's this cliche term of finding your voice in comedy, and so that's kind of been the process for me. Just trying to spend these years of I feel like I'm decent now at comedy, but there were definitely years of struggle
Yeah.
and just working towards where I am now, and that's just kind of the path of every. Or, I mean, some comedians are great right away, but that's rare. Usually, it takes a lot of struggle and honing your craft and figuring out who you
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's been very much my experience. Just like a grind, a slow grind to where I am now. So
I think it's more of a, if I'm not wrong, trial and error thing, was it?
exactly. Yep.
Right. I think that's the most sustainable way of doing it, because you know exactly what fits you the best, right? Because if everyone just accepts you directly, I think it's not as easy to know exactly what you're good at, right? Because it's more about the people at that point.
Right.
Yeah. But I see that you do stand up and YouTube both. Which one do you prefer more?
Stand up and you said I do stand up and what else?
YouTube videos? I think
Oh yeah, and YouTube. Yeah. So I really like doing sketch stuff on YouTube and the other platforms, of course, too. Instagram Reels and TikTok. I feel like I'm better right now as in the sketch world than as a stand up. I think I'm decent at stand up, but I think I'm like funnier on the screen. But that's because I've been doing it longer and I have more experience, and
Okay.
I feel like I'm more creative in that space. Because yeah, with sketch stuff and YouTube, I feel like I've provided more of a unique voice and a unique kind of perspective than other things out there. Whereas in stand up, sometimes I feel like I'm a little too normal. I'm just another guy doing it. So I'm still very much in the
Change of
process.
personality, right.
Yeah. So I'm still very much in the process in the stand-up world of the whole finding my voice thing. That's still an ongoing process, but I feel like to this point, I've created a lot more great sketch comedy than stand-up. But I enjoy doing both.
All right, I see. Usually it's more about, I think there's more flexibility in the sketch, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Of being more, I think, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But in order to be a better comedian, do you have like a ritual before shows? Maybe like having a cup of coffee or putting on perfume or brushing your teeth,
Yeah.
stuff like that. What exactly gets you into the mood?
Yeah. So I sometimes I'll get I'll get kind of jitters before going on. I'll get kind of butterflies, as they say. I'll get a little bit nervous, but then I try to just like think positive thoughts and think like I'm gonna kill, I'm gonna kill, I'm gonna do well, I'm gonna crush this show, and I'm gonna like this audience doesn't know what's coming to them. They're gonna love my set, and just try to talk like positively to me, or positively to myself, and just kind of like talk my way into being confident, because it doesn't really come that naturally, the confidence. So I
Yeah.
kind of have to talk myself into it sometimes.
Yeah, definitely is relatable.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really relatable because right now, before the interview, if you noticed, I was a wreck. And my friend had just come over, and I had coffee, and he had coffee. So I'm kind of jittery right now, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that just makes the nervousness all the more worse. But
Yes.
I think what I'm doing right now is pretty good. And
I think you're doing well so far.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But right now, just as things are getting awkward during your well, they're not getting awkward, but I'm feeling awkward right now because communication. I'm an introvert, I think, in some cases.
Oh, very much same here. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to really change your personality, I think, right?
Yeah, totally.
Stuff out.
I'm an introvert in a world that's very not introverted, the entertainment world, and as a comedian
Yeah,
and actor, I have to be out all over the place, and so it's
yeah,
a interesting contrast. So
definitely, definitely. But during stand-ups, during stand when a joke goes wrong, how do you deal with it? Does it get awkward, or does your audience usually understand that something better is gonna come? Or how does that entire scenario exactly look?
yeah, so I used to be more affected by they call it bombing. If you tell a joke that falls flat and doesn't get a good response, I used to be very affected by that on stage, and I would not really address it, and I would just kind of move on and just try to power through the set. But now, if I have a joke that totally bombs, like I'll address the bomb. I'll say something about it. I'll be like, "Wow, you guys didn't like that one," right? And that always gets a laugh when I
Oh,
when I kind of break the fourth wall and acknowledge my vulnerability that yeah, joke didn't work, they didn't like it, but calling that out is funny to the audience and always gets a
exactly,
laugh.
exactly.
So
I think that strategy is gonna work in practically every scenario. Definitely, I think.
yeah,
But are there any awkward moments on stage that you had that are quite memorable that you have right now in your mind?
yeah, there was one show I did where it was kind of early on in my stand-up career where I it was a 10-minute set, and I knew exactly what I was going to do for the 10 minutes, and like every second was accounted for, and I timed myself out, and I was going to finish at exactly 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
a couple minutes in, and I had an in order of things because like one joke led to the next, led to the next, and very early on, just a couple minutes in, I like totally blanked, and
Okay.
I forgot what I was gonna do next, and so I was just I basically just I was like, yeah, I just froze. I was like a computer glitching up there, and I'm like, wow, I forgot what I was gonna do next, and then I tried to do some crowd work, as they say, like talking to the audience a little bit, but that went terribly because I was just so in my head about forgetting my jokes, and then
Okay.
so the crowd work wasn't funny, it was a disaster, and then finally I did kind of remember where I had left off, but at that point I had wasted like 3 or 4 minutes amongst my 10, so I
Right,
tried
right,
to get
right.
back into it, and it was rough. So yeah, that was my
Those are definitely
worst.
kind of moments that make you really rethink your entire like.
Oh,
I think I
100%.
was supposed to be more
100%.
prepared over there. Like I
Right.
should have prepared more.
Right,
But
right. Yeah, I
yeah,
really
that
kicked
happens with me.
myself. Yeah, I really kicked myself for like, oh, I should have like written my stuff out beforehand,
Exactly.
and yeah, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of self-blaming there, but just something, yeah, like I said, part of the process of being a young comedian and just like bombing and not being good for a
Right.
while. So trial and error.
I had a moment like that. I had an elocution speech about time versus currency, and I remember the first. I think that my awkwardness started as soon as I got on the stage. I'm a tall guy.
Hmm.
Okay, let me address that. I'm a very tall guy
How tall are you?
compared to all my classmates. I think I'm almost 6 now. I think I
Okay,
measured myself last time. I was 6.
got it.
So should be that. Maybe I'll become exactly 6. Like it's confirmed I want to be 6. Maybe by March. Let's hope. Let's hope. Can we hope for
Six
that?
6 feet is a good.
But
That's a good height. It's a good height. I'm five
that's
ten.
impressive. Right?
So
You're 5'10".
yeah. So
So I'm only a little taller than you.
yeah.
That's
6 feet
yeah.
with my friend as a joke. He'll say like 6 feet in Tim's, like Timberland boots that have a big sole at the bottom. Say like, yeah,
Ah.
I'm 5'10", but 6 feet in Tim's. So
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Yeah, actually, you can't really figure out who's tall and who's not at this point. I think everything is just hidden. There's secrets and stuff.
right,
I
right,
think basketball players try to do that sometimes. But
right.
yeah. Okay, I almost forgot what I was going to say. See that awkward moment? Yeah. So I had an elocution speech basically, and I had written out an entire speech that should have lasted for like 4 or 5 minutes. But the first awkward moment started exactly when I got on stage. It was that the mic was way too low down. Okay. Then I asked him, can you please help me put the mic up? He's like, and he fell back down. Fell right back down. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Leave it alone, because my time was running out. And there were judges looking me straight in the eye, judging me. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then I was like, just like, I'm gonna have to bend down and look at everyone. You're like, hi there, and everyone chuckled with me. As you said, you have to address that you forgot the joke. Oh, it's awkward. I forgot my lines. Oh my god, I think that helps create the relationship with the crowd.
Yeah.
And after that, I went on with my speech, but I was like pausing. And once I was done, I think I never looked back at my speech that I'd written on paper, right? So fast forward maybe a month or two, I found that again. I'm like, that's all? That's a very small speech. I could have done way better on that,
Yeah.
I should have sacrificed a few hours out of my day. I should have just done it. I was so pissed off. That is so easy. How could you forget that? But I think at the moment, but I think that confidence is only there when you're off the stage. And when you get on the stage, I think everyone just staring into your soul is just a different feeling, isn't it?
Yep. For sure.
Definitely. Oh my god. Yeah. But how hard is it exactly to make people laugh? For you, your personal perspective, how hard do you think it is, just in general, not just on stage or anything? How hard is it for you to exactly make people laugh in a conversation or anything?
Yeah, well, I always like to make people laugh. It's, at the core of what I do. It gives me great, great joy and pleasure in life. But yeah, usually I'm funniest, I found, when I'm just like not really trying to be, when I'm just kind of being myself. And if I'm trying to like work too hard at like making jokes or being funny, usually it doesn't work as well. So when I'm just kind of like being myself and letting my personality come out, usually that's like the funniest thing. And also I am like sometimes very, like we talked about being an introvert before. I'm very much an introvert, and sometimes I'll be socially awkward and say or do stupid things in public, and that and that leads to comedy for sure. So
I think the best ideas,
yeah.
Okay, so I think the best ideas come when you're like not thinking about it at all. I face that a lot of times. My friends keep saying, "Hey, Adi, you're so funny sometimes. You're a really cool guy. You have a good, because I'm just being myself.
Right.
Okay, I'm just, and sometimes in school, okay, I'm a different guy out of school and I'm a different guy in school because I have to match everyone's energy. Okay, so in my class, if you don't know, during the lunch breaks, these kids, they go crazy. I've seen people being held up and then thrown onto the table. There's no limit to how psychotic you can go, right? So that usually turns me into a psycho as well. I think that I try to join into the crowd. I try to fight, you know what I mean? I try to be more like them, but that's not who I actually am. But I get excited. There's this excitement that's like, oh my god, you can finally let loose, So either two things happen. I either get judged or the people who actually accept me, they're like, wow, you're so funny, dude. I didn't expect to be funny. I was just being myself, giving into my feelings, and it just ends up happening, I think. But then when I try to make jokes, maybe girl I like, something like that, happens at this age, that doesn't work out. It's always ended with awkward conversations on text. That's all. Never talk to her again. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So are you're in college, right?
No, I look like I'm in college, don't I? No, I'm not in college, but you gotta guess.
So are you younger than that?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. So are you? Well, I don't know how. Well, you're in India, right? So I don't know if the schooling is the same
they
years
still,
and
they still call it first, second, third, fourth grade. Same thing, actually.
So do you? But school prior to college, do you go up to 12th grade like we do here in the U.S.?
Yeah, we go up to 12th grade, but we don't call it high school. We just call it 12th grade. 12th standard is what they call it over here. And after that, we go on to college. That's pretty much how it is. They don't really call it high school and middle school and elementary school and stuff like that. Just first, second, third, fourth. For me, that's how it's been actually. And
Got
I've
it.
changed a lot of boards in here. Yeah.
Got it. Okay,
I'm in
so
ninth. I'm in ninth.
you're in ninth. Wow. Okay. Wow. Young stud over here.
Yeah. Thank you.
So what are you then? Like 15?
Yeah, I'm 15. I'm gonna be 16 in March 29th.
Okay.
So
Okay. Awesome. Well,
I always.
I was just gonna say I think it's really cool how you're doing this and doing a podcast so
God,
young.
I know.
Yeah,
It's been.
that's awesome.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I mean, I usually when people ask me how old are you, I'm like, yeah, I'm 15, but I'm gonna be 16.
Right.
So call me 16. You know?
Right.
Oh God.
Me, I go the other way. I say, you say I'm 29, but I just turned 29. I used to be 28 not long ago.
I think as you start growing up, I don't want. I think I want to go back in time. I don't want to be so old anymore. It's pretty weird.
Right.
As a kid, you just want to be as old. I want independence. You know that?
Right.
You're like, no, it's fine. I think I'm younger than I look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's life, and it's confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. Well, you definitely want to. Yeah. My advice as someone almost twice your age would be to just cherish your youthful year. Not that I'm like super old or anything, but I really enjoy your young years because obviously as you get older you have more responsibilities and more pressure to make money and to make a living and all this stuff. So it's cool when you're your age. It's more fun for sure.
Yeah, I don't realize it's that fun because that's how much pressure I can handle as of now. So
Yeah.
I think, it's not that fun, you know. But then you have to start paying taxes, you have to go for a job, you have to face people. I think you want to go back to these moments.
Yes.
So I'm gonna enjoy them as much as I can. I'm gonna follow your advice.
That's good.
That's much needed advice actually. I'm stressing out over my finals in February. They actually preponed the exams. It was supposed to be in March. Now it's in February. I'm like, why could you? It's unfair, you know. It's my finals. It's been a lot of stress, so this advice is definitely going to help me actually.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, now back to you.
Yes.
Okay, I need to know more about you.
Yes.
Has living in LA helped with boosting your comedy career? Probably. Like, do you think it would have been any different if you were based in some other country or any other state?
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to being in LA. I think it's the best place to be overall for me because of my acting too. And this is LA is you have Hollywood here, and this is still the biggest market for entertainment in film and television. So I think I'm in the right place. As far as stand-up goes, it might not be the best place to like rise up as a comedian because it's tough to get a lot of stage time as a comic because you have all or not all because a lot of them are in New York, but probably half of like the best comedians in the world or more are here in LA and they're doing shows in LA.
Yeah.
So you have those people to compete with. Some of the best in the game and some of the best to ever do it are right here. So like it's tough to convince people to go to your show when they're like, okay, well, Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr are performing right over here, so I'm just gonna go see them.
Fluffy oil, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's there's a lot of competition here. It's a little harder to get stage time, but you can perform at some cool places. I've performed at some of the most popular comedy clubs in the world out here, including the Comedy Store and the Hollywood Improv and the Laugh Factory. They're very famous clubs, so it's cool to perform at those venues, but it's tough because there's a lot of competition. So so there's pros and cons to doing stand-up in LA for sure.
That's definitely a different insight, I think, and that's opened my perspective. I always knew stand-up was a competitive field, but I did not know it was like that crazy. That feels like medical school at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of competition now more than ever.
All the big stars. Yeah, exactly. Now, moving on to my next question, I think might be a little different than all
Mhm.
the stress you can talk about. This is not about you as a comedian. This is about you as a person. What are the five things you can't live without? Leave out stuff like oxygen and water. What are the five things that you can't live without?
So, let's see. The gym would be one. I love working out because that's my natural stress
Oh yeah, I can see
reliever.
that.
Yeah, my natural stress reliever and antidepressant is going to the gym because I feel much better when I do. So definitely can't live without the gym. Let's see what else. I can't live without sports. I love sports. I was a baseball player back in college, and I don't know how familiar with baseball you are, but I think
I
that.
think I used to love baseball. Yeah, I lived in US for a few years.
Oh, you
At the
did.
start, 2000. Yeah, in the 2015 to 2017 era, I think I was living in US.
What city?
Yeah, but it was definitely California, dude.
What
Yeah,
part?
Fremont.
Oh, Fremont. Okay.
Fremont.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
But
So you got some exposure to baseball and American
yeah,
sports.
quite some exposure. Right, right. I think that's how I got recommended more creators from USA. I don't think I would have got that. But yeah, I'm getting you recommended. I'm getting people recommended from other places in USA because I've been there. So my phone is like, okay, you've been following these kind of creators in the past. Let me show you more of that. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, US is a very great place. Especially someone coming from India. It's a completely different change.
Yep.
Everything is different over there. Exactly.
For
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, I have to admit, getting used to the toilet paper over there was not as easy.
Okay.
It's pretty, you have grown up with that, obviously, but here we have a jet spray and stuff, just get the work done.
Right.
Yeah, I used to clog the toilet. I used to clog the toilets over there, and the plumber had to come, and he had to see the horrible atrocities that come in. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So it's bidets you guys use over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now
Everywhere.
those are growing in popularity
Yeah.
here. So your guys' culture is rubbing off on us a little bit. We're taking some good things from you
Yeah, it's a
guys.
good thing for many of us who are like gonna come to live over there. I think they require those bidets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know people who have been living there for like 10, 20 years. They still want a bidet with them, because that's how we've grown up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Change that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with
I mean,
that. But yeah, as far as the other things, I can't live without. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the gym, sports, comedy is one. I like I was talking about before, just making people laugh is really the thing that gives me the most joy in life, and yeah, so I couldn't live without
that's three
comedy.
things.
What's that?
That's three things, right? That's three. I lost count of how many things. The first thing was the gym. I think they said baseball.
Sports in general.
Sports in general, and then we said comedy.
Comedy,
Two more
yeah.
things.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things. Let's see. Uh Yeah, I don't know. I'm a pretty simple guy, I guess. It doesn't it doesn't take a lot to make me happy. So I guess if you have
That's
those basic things,
definitely a
good
set of a
food
privilege.
too.
Yeah.
I know food doesn't count because you need that to survive, but I like having good food too. There's a lot of great restaurants in LA, and so it's fun. And I don't like go out to eat a lot to save money. I usually
More of
cook
a,
my own
yeah.
food, but yeah, I like going to explore the different restaurants in LA, and because you have like every type of food in LA because it's such a diverse city.
Yeah.
So I like the different food in LA. Okay, I guess that's the fourth thing, right? I need one more thing.
One
Um,
more thing, dude.
yeah.
All the things are the world.
Yeah,
One more thing.
I would say competition. I love competition and competing, and so I do. So yeah, I play baseball in college. Now I play softball. I play recreational softball. So I like to compete doing that. I play trivia. I'm a big trivia fan. So I
Yeah.
like competing during doing that. And so yeah, competition is something that that I like doing a lot and competing
Wow,
and
you are
trying
a
to win.
scary guy, you know that? You actually like competition. Oh
Right.
God.
So
Yeah.
watch out. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
But we still have a lot of questions left. So let's see. 5 things you can't live without. Let me show you. I have these questions over here. I took a picture of another phone's picture. Then I took a picture with the third phone on this. So the quality is shit. I mean, it's crap. I think I'll put that as explicit. I'll be allowed to curse.
And now it's an explicit podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I've already named it as explicit in case while conversing, we might. Awkward, right? That's my awkwardness. I talk. I just go over the board explaining myself. Right now, your main goal right now, and you can be as detailed as you want about this.
Mm-hmm. So my main goal in my career, you're asking?
Yeah.
So my ultimate goal is to eventually have my own TV show where I'm acting. Yeah, where I'm acting in it and writing in it. So examples of that from the past would be Seinfeld, Broad City, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or Nathan for You, something like that. All comedy shows where the people on screen are the people who created it also.
So what kind of comedy should you want? Do you want it to be, I don't know, a weird one like Nathan for You? The guy is just... I'm so glad I watched Nathan for You. Otherwise, I would have no context for what you were saying.
So have you?
Once again, I have been to California for some time, so I have watched some of those.
So did you like that show?
Show do you want?
Did you like Nathan for You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only watched a few episodes when I was in a hotel room. I loved it because that's my kind of comedy.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
You like
yeah.
Nathan. You know what I mean?
yeah. Nathan for You that might be my favorite show of all time. It's so good and so funny and so cringy and awkward.
That just goes to show. It shows that the guy's not trying to be funny, but
right.
he's being funny. And on the other hand, we have Seinfeld. Completely different from that. It's actually like ha ha ha, like laughter playing in the background and stuff.
Right.
But what kind of comedy show would you like?
So I mean, ideally, I think I would love to do something like what Nathan does, where it's like using real people, and so kind of combining like his own ideas with interacting with real people is that would be like, I think, the ideal show for me. But I also wouldn't mind doing something totally scripted, like a Seinfeld or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia too. So yeah, but I really do like that real world comedy a lot.
Mm-hmm. That makes... Damn, yeah. But I think you can always come up with a new genre of comedy where you have everything included.
True.
That's definitely one thing, yeah. But I think you might be the guy to go more for the Nathan for You style.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I saw the reel that you had, the guy gives you the letter, you're just sitting there innocently, and you're like, your life is ruined. Give up right now.
Glad you liked it. That reminds me, so how did you find me in the first place? What video was it that came up for you that made you find me?
Oh, let me see. I think it was on YouTube. I remember the platform. Then I was like, oh my God, what a great guest for my podcast, and I should really contact him. I think it was a skit. I remember. I can't remember exactly which one it was. Sorry, I don't remember, but it was a skit, and it was definitely the first impressions that impressed me. So I found the right video, like, dang, he's good. I have to contact him. That's the kind of comedy I'm into. But I can't remember the video. It was on YouTube. I don't know if it was short or a skit. Yeah, but it was definitely first impressions, the best impression, and you passed it.
Good.
So I mean, yeah, you're like, once again, you're like the instant guest. Like, I have to get him. I have to get him.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's very nice of you.
As you see, having some issues with the scheduling, thanks to all the time zone differences. So this interview is a big blessing for me.
Oh yeah, well,
Every interview I've had, yeah.
I'm glad
Every interview I had some, yeah. Like, okay, what?
Yeah, well,
You said
I was
something.
just gonna. Sorry, yeah, I was just gonna say I'm
Uh,
glad it worked out. Yeah, I know I had to postpone it a couple times because yeah, things came up here and we're dealing with the time difference. But glad we
yeah,
made it work.
I'm pretty proud of us for figuring all that stuff out.
Yes.
It's been a long way. And every interview, I face some of the other obstacles that have to come up. Either it's time zones, the person's schedule, my schedule, it's a difficult thing. But what is your biggest obstacle in terms of your career that you have overcome, are overcoming, or you plan to overcome? What is one of the biggest obstacles in your career?
So yeah, my first an obstacle that I overcame for sure was getting my first TV role, and I finally got that with that Welcome to Chippendales show. That was an obstacle to kind of get over that hump because it's like a chicken and egg thing where it's like it's you can't really get good roles, you can't get good parts in Hollywood without credits of things you've done in the past, but you can't get good credits without getting roles. So it's like this, and it's the same thing with like getting an agent. Like you need good credits to get a good agent, but you need a good agent to get credits. So it's this tough like chicken and egg thing. Like how do you do that? What's first? Luckily for me, after a few years of like struggling here and not really getting anyone to any agents to like give me a chance, any good agents, I finally got with a couple good agents last year who then started getting me auditions and opportunities for big film and TV stuff, and then I
Okay,
was
that's
able
good.
to book that role in the Chippendale show on Hulu. So that was definitely a big obstacle to overcome, is getting that first TV role. So I got that. So that was a
Yeah, yeah,
big relief. More than anything, is just a relief for me that that's out of the way. Now I can focus on bigger and better things, which is
exactly.
getting a big role in something on TV. Um,
Maybe your own TV show, stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and down the line my own show, and then so yeah, that's so now I'm on to so yeah, after that obstacle was overcome, now I'm on to these bigger ones, like yeah, getting more significant roles, and then also creating more of my own work, my own TV
Mm,
show or my own movie, some
mm.
because I think that's going to be the way that I break through, is through
Yeah,
my
and I
own
see
work.
that you have been yeah. Yeah, and I think you have been going in the right direction. I can see that your progress has been quite good, and
Oh,
I'm
thank
quite
you.
impressed with your content. Yeah,
I
I mean,
appreciate that.
I see the stats going up like that. So
Thanks.
good luck to you,
Thank
and
you.
best wishes. Yeah. hmm Once again, just my second interview. Kind of lost track of the questions over
No
here.
worries.
And hey, I'm addressing it. So,
Right, you're addressing it exactly.
what's your favorite childhood memory?
Favorite childhood memory.
Mhm.
Tough to come up with just one in particular. Probably my favorite one is when I was playing baseball as a kid. I was probably, I think, 10 or 11 years old,
Yeah.
and I hit a home run in baseball to win the game for my team. I think that was one that stands out for sure. A great childhood
It's one
memory.
of them. Yeah, definitely. It's one of the feelings that stick with you. My first ever success. Yeah.
Hmm.
It'd be pretty weird because if you asked me that question, I would have never been able to answer it. I don't know. I've had a childhood. I didn't disappear on this planet, but I don't know. I can't remember any of my favorite moments. So it's
Yeah.
good that I'm the one asking the questions.
Right. Well,
Definitely like that.
technically, you're still a child for another 3 years,
Yeah,
right, before you become an
definitely.
adult.
I have
So
more memories
there's
to go.
still memories to make.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, yeah. That was a success, though. What about your failures? What has been your biggest failure in life? And what have you learned from it?
I'd say my biggest failure in life was, so I mentioned I played baseball in college. I wasn't, it didn't really go well. I had my whole like childhood, yeah, most of my upbringing, I had a big goal of I wanted to play college baseball. And I did accomplish
Oh,
that goal of playing college baseball, but I feel like I failed in terms of the success that I had. I felt I really underachieved as a college athlete and did not play as well as I thought I could have, and so yeah, that's definitely a failure that sticks with me, and I always like I'm sometimes when I feel that I'm like over it and I've like moved past it, I'll have like a dream about it, like I'll dream that I'm still back there, and like I'll dream about things that I wish had gone better with the baseball. So that was definitely one that sticks with me as far as my biggest failure, but it does inspire me to have success in my career, and I want to because I don't want to feel like that again, and so I want to
yes.
have a successful career and like live out my potential instead of squandering my potential like I felt I did in
Yeah, it's like this. Yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Oh no, that's
If I
pretty much
tell
it.
you
Yeah.
this, okay, because we were doing a chapter in biology, and your story kind of reminded me of one of the things. You have to get the vaccines and stuff,
Hmm.
and how your immune system makes like a memory for it. That if that the first time you get it, it fights it off, but it also gets like a little fingerprint of it. You know what I mean? That the next time it comes, immediately recognize it, mess it up,
Hmm.
destroy it. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of how life in general works, even at the molecular level. You get something bad happens to you, you make sure that that thing never happens to you again. And I think that kind of gives you an affirmation that yes, we can get through this.
Yeah,
That's a good thing. Yeah, definitely.
for sure.
What's one compliment? Yeah, well, what's one compliment you got that you still remember to this day?
Hmm. Let's see. One compliment. Might have been back when. So I did a lot of acting growing up. I did a lot of plays, theater, and I would get compliments back then sometimes from people saying like you gotta keep doing this, like you're gonna like this could be your career, like you have what it takes to do this for a living. And so I got a lot of nice compliments doing that as a young kid. Unfortunately, looking back, yeah, I kind of got away from acting and stuff for years, and didn't really take it seriously until college, like I was talking about, where I had that kind of change in heart and what I wanted to do for my career. So there were a lot of years that I kind of got away from acting, got away from performing. Um, but but yeah, those compliments back in the day, doing plays as a kid, I definitely remember those of people really sincerely telling me that they thought I had what it took um, to make it to Hollywood was
Yeah,
definitely stuck with me in a good way.
definitely gives you I think, the drive to continue working. I mean, I think that's very essential. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely there. I've had moments where I'm like, oh, I can't do this. The exams are so close by. How am I going to school? And I was like, oh, wow, you've been studying. Good job. It changes everything. So definitely, yeah. And
yeah.
speaking of changes, if you could give your teenager self one advice, what would it be?
If I could give myself advice, like
If
currently,
your teenager self,
oh, my teenager
in your
self,
past,
yeah,
yeah.
I would say, yeah, I would say find what you do well and keep doing it. Also, more importantly, though, I would say I would say don't be afraid to be yourself. And because there were a lot of times in my life, whether in high school or college, where I would do certain things or act a certain way um, to fit in, to try to be cool and fit in with my friends or what was popular at the time. But but I would say don't be afraid to be yourself and be unique and be different, because um, you have much more to offer to the world as your true self, rather than just doing what you think is cool,
Yeah.
and trying to impress other people. Just being yourself and being authentic is really what it's all about, and that's something that I've tried to do more as I've gotten older, because I feel like that's a good thing to do in many ways, is to be yourself. And
Yeah.
whether it's in comedy or whether it's in real life, just just yeah, be who you are, and don't try to change to fit
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I agree with that in the strongest way possible. I mean, I personally have been trying to act like other people. Sometimes I'm like, be a really calm person, maintain your composure.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, just be myself sometimes. And I feel like the being yourself, other than it being more of a comfortable choice for you, I think it's more about people look at you, and that's like an identity. That's who Adi is. That's who Malcolm Kelner is.
Mhm.
That's what makes you you.
Mhm.
And there's always this one quality, if you be yourself, that makes you different from other people. And that's what they see you as. That's Adi's special trait. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's who he is. Yeah, that's definitely important. Most of the people in my class try to be someone who they are not, because they want to impress others or just for the social convenience. But I think if you be yourself and not irritate others, I mean,
Mhm.
I don't really irritate people, but you know what I mean, right? And yeah, I mean, you just build an identity for yourself, and the earlier you do it, I think the better it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good. You have the awareness of doing that this young. Yeah, I definitely, my 15 year
You made
old
me, yeah.
yeah, my 15-year-old self definitely wasn't as thoughtful, I don't think, as you are now. So that's
You
good.
definitely gave this 15-year-old self, you definitely give this 15-year-old good advice. So,
That's
I mean,
good. Happy to hear
much
that.
needed advice, I think. Yeah. Especially in this age, I think you try to be someone you're not. So you stopped me over there. Good job. Thank you
Yeah,
about
of course.
that. And speaking of a good job, you've done a good job being in this interview, and you're on to the last question.
All right.
I didn't even realize you were having so much fun that time passed, and
Time flies when
the
you're
last
having
question.
fun. Yeah.
There's always this question. There's nothing beyond it. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's flying by.
And the last, yeah. And the last question is there any trait that you have that makes you more confident about being a comedian, that you can always rely on for your career to be successful? Something that makes you you, as we talked about.
Yeah. I'd say it's my something that yeah, I can fall back on with comedy is my kind of outlook on the world. I can sometimes be very like what's a way of saying this without sounding too negative. I kind of cynical, I guess. I sometimes like I'm kind of have you ever seen the show Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David?
I've
Do you know
heard
who
of
that is?
um, I've heard of it,
Okay.
but I've never. I think I might have heard
So
of it.
he's one of the
What is it like now?
co-creators of Seinfeld. He co-created
Okay.
Seinfeld with Jerry Seinfeld. So he was one of the writers of Seinfeld. But Larry David is the guy who does Curb Your Enthusiasm. So Larry, if you watch that show, he's playing an exaggerated version of himself, where he's very like bothered by things going on in life, little everyday day-to-day things that bother him and bug him, and he has to comment on it and call it out. These little things that maybe his friend does something he doesn't like, he doesn't shake his hand in the right way, or says something to him in a tone that he doesn't like, and he's always
That
commenting on
sounds
it
like
and
me.
just yeah, and just kind of like finding these things that bug him in day-to-day life. I feel like I identify with that a lot because I feel very much like Larry when I go through life. I a lot of things like I don't try to be like too negative of a person, but a lot of things like bug me and get on my nerves and bother me. So because of that, there's always kind of like an endless well of material that I can pull from, of things that bother me and things that I'm annoyed by, things that other people do that I don't like. So yeah, it's always
It's like a
something.
yeah, it's like a yeah,
An
it's like an
un
unfair advantage. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah. So
continue.
it's like an unlimited energy source of material, because there's always
I think
something
it's yeah.
that bugs me. So I like taking those things and turning them into comedy, and yeah.
I think every person just has something in them that they don't know it, but that particular thing that makes them different from others, that authenticity in your personality is what I think makes you successful in the field that you're gonna go in.
Hmm.
Either your people, if you're a doctor, your patients know you as who you are. If you're an actor, people know you. Like Shah Rukh Khan, right?
What's that?
Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, he was in the David Letterman show. I think he appeared once in it, and in that he said that, well, I don't really think that I'm as good as people think of me to be, but I think what made me stand out from others is the fact that I've got their hearts.
Hmm.
Resided in their hearts. Like be the Bollywood romantic that he is. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So more than just what you're good in terms of skills in your career, I think there's something that sets you aside, something as a part of your personality. So yeah,
Definitely.
that's a big jug you got there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Staying hydrated over here.
Definitely, definitely. Oh God, I wish I had a water bottle over here, but gonna have some water after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, and I think every time I do a podcast, it's just how do I say this? It gives me a different insight towards life, and I think that's the main reason I started. That talking to people just gives me a different insight about life, and especially when you're going into such a depth in terms of all these fields. You're a comedian. The previous person I interviewed was a medical student, Shivan. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it just gives you a different viewpoint in life and opens up different opportunities for you. And I'm genuinely thankful for everyone who comes on this podcast and talks about their life.
Yeah.
It's good for me and it's good for others as well. It gives them a little guidance in their life, I think. Yeah.
Totally. And
Yeah,
I should ask you, we've talked so much about my career and what I want to do. What do you hope to do with your career when you enter the real world? Do
oh
you
God. Well, I mean, there are two things to weigh in. Obviously, there's money and there's passion. Right?
Yes.
Money will definitely help you get cool things, right? New
Hmm.
watch, new phone. But then I have met a lot of people who have chosen the wrong career. They make a lot of money, but they're depressed as hell. They have a lot of antidepressants,
Yep.
to deal with
Yep.
all the stress on their job. My mission has always been to be a doctor, but it's always been bouncing back. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a software engineer. I want to be a doctor again, but I want to be a pilot. I want to be a doctor again. I want to be a software. So right now, I'm currently in wanting to be a doctor. So it really seems like it's going towards wanting to be a doctor because I have this genuine feelings that I have for like maybe patients that I see around, to help people or even in the learning part of it, when
Hmm.
we do biology, chemistry, physics, my passion awakens. That's the kind of subject I'm the best at, and
Yep.
that's the unfair advantage. I have passion for particular subjects that might make me good in the field that I want to choose. And I think in terms of money, if it has to come to you, it will. I'm a believer of destiny, I think. So no matter what I do at the end of the day, I think I'll go towards. And I think destiny has been telling me to go towards the medical field because it's something that I'll do good at. I think
Hmm.
I won't ever get bored. I will always look forward to things in my life other than money,
Yeah.
which is it's not as interesting in the long run as it money. Same thing, you keep running behind. But if you're excited about your job every day that you wake up, oh my God, I have to save another person, I have to operate another person, I have to learn new things, it's a different feeling rather than just chasing for one thing, money, 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 money. When you're waking up to look forward to your career instead of what you might get from it. Just the process and the result. The result is the money. The process is the career. I think when you wake up every day for the process itself rather than the result, I think that's when you've hit it. That's it. That's all you need.
100%.
That's what makes you happy every day when you're happy. Definitely. Yeah.
Yes, couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's I believe that people should do what gives them passion in life, and the money will follow. But yeah, it's definitely, you only get one shot at life, so you might as well.
One life.
Yes,
Exactly. That's what
might as well do things that give you and people around you purpose, and obviously going into the medical field and helping people that way is I'm sure would be very fulfilling. So if that's the way you go for it. So
thank you. Yeah, I mean, also, other than that, one thing I wanted to point out, I really like your skill about the body count.
Oh yeah, the body count.
Yeah. Oh, I do you say it. Yeah. You ask me what's my body count.
What's your body count?
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a series of videos. I think it was one part 2. So every time I try to say it with you, hey, what's your body count? But you say the best.
Well, thank you. Well, have you seen the guys who I was making fun of with that? The guys on TikTok who ask people that. Have you seen those videos?
Oh yeah.
And I just think I just think they're so like those videos are so stupid and so
I know.
like so disrespectful to they're always asking women what's, and like what a personal thing that you shouldn't be.
Yeah, comedy is one thing, but then you have to there are boundaries, ethical,
right. And that's with a lot of the TikTok stuff, that's totally ethics are totally out the window. So yeah, I just can't stand those types of low level street interviews with what's your body count stuff. So that's why I had to, like I said before, take the things that bother me in life, like those horrible TikTok interviews, and turn them into comedy.
Yeah.
So that's
definitely.
what I had to do with that. I had no choice but to do that. So
definitely, and I think your content just has a different ring to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I really appreciate the fact that you agreed to come on to the show and explain your feelings about the world. And I think, definitely change the way I look at life. And once this is uploaded, you're gonna change the perspective of many other people too, I think.
Awesome. Well, really appreciate your having me on here. Glad we made it work across the world here. And
I know, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see where you go from here with your podcast and everything else.
Definitely.
And I wish you the best.
Thank you so much, and I wish you the best in your comedy career. Honestly, I wish you the best. I wish for that. What do you call that?
Ascension, growth.
Yeah,
something like that.
Your growth, extreme growth. You know what I mean? Wish you all the best. And thank you for coming on to the show.
Of course, and if you ever come back out to California and you're in town, let me know.
Sure. I'll definitely ring you up. And you can do something,
Sounds good. All right, man.
All right then.
Thanks again. Take care.